I'll do more than just speak to it. I'll give you some keys to the kingdom here. In fact, I'll share with you my proprietary productivity pyramid. So if you can think of it as a pyramid, a triangle, with 4 spaces in that triangle, the very first space at the bottom is what we call no or low value. That is where you're doing things in your day that really don't give you much bang for your buck. I mean, you might be doing the dishes, watching TV, going to the store to get ink for your printer. Those are all things that keep people somewhat busy, but they don't really help you grow your real estate business, do they?
No.
So then we go up to the second level, and that's where we call it low dollar value. Now you're doing something that is getting you ready to make money. It's definitely better than the first level, because in the second level, maybe you're preparing a PPM. Maybe you are, doing some research in a certain neighborhood. Maybe you're compiling a list of investors, So we've got level 1. Now we've got level 2. That is low dollar value. Then we go up, and this is where it gets fun, Whitney. We go up to level 3 on the pyramid, and that's called high dollar value. That is where you are out there doing something that is going to potentially put money in your pocket. Maybe you're, walking the building and you're about to put in an offer. Maybe you are pitching to a group of investors to each bring in $50K to your deal. Maybe you're doing something to optimize and maximize an opportunity. But level 3 is where you're doing it where there's a massive opportunity to actually get an ROI on that specific thing you're doing. That's level 3. And then level 4, the very tip top of the triangle, is called high lifetime value. That is where you're doing something with your time that brings lifetime value to you. Maybe you're reading a book, and my Bible is Think and Grow Rich. I've read this so many times. I've listened to the audio. That is high lifetime value. I will always carry that forward. Maybe you're going to an event. Maybe you're listening to this podcast. Maybe you're working out. Maybe you're spending quality time with your family and your kids outside of real estate, so it fills up your cup in other areas. So really, when I talk about these 4 levels, I also give them colors. And so level 1 is what I call brown time. It's shit time. It means that, it's probably not going to give you much bang for your buck. Level 2 is what I call light green time, kind of like the color of money, but it's light green. Level 3 is also green, but it's called dark green. That's when you're doing things that can bring you some nice dark green cash. And then the very tip top level 4 is called gold time. That is where you're doing things, again, that fill up your cup, that make you feel good. My wife and I, we travel a lot. We do a lot of speaking. We do a lot of things in Australia, Costa Rica, New York. We were in Paris this year. We were in Hong Kong. And so we include travel in that gold time up there. And that's also where you can add massive value to other people. So this podcast, I would say, is complete gold time. If your listeners are listening to you and I right now, that is not brown, that is not light green, that is not dark green, that is seriously gold time. And Whitney, I got to give you a shout out and honor you for the work that you do as well. But does that pyramid make sense when you ask me to speak to time management?
It does. And I appreciate the shout out as well. And I was just thinking about how I can relate to that triangle, because it's all those low value tasks that, just kind of bombard your day. And before you know, if you haven't planned your day, or if you hadn't thought through that, then you've wasted your day doing all this minuscule nothing. It's another reason I suggest people hiring an assistant, or a virtual assistant of some kind, or, so you can start giving those tasks to somebody, because you won't even realize how many you're doing until you have somebody available that can do them, for you. So you can start handing them off.
That's it. And that's a huge distinction in itself, that, you've got to know what is an hour of your time worth, and should you be outsourcing something to someone else? Because it's important. I mean, we don't say that all brown or light green activities are bad, because, if you don't keep track of your records and you don't file things and you don't, do all of those things, the IRS is going to come back and it's going to haunt you, right? But you also have to do what you spoke to, and that is know when your dark green activities are for your day. Plan them, time block them, because that's where you're going to scale. That's where you're going to make a return. And then obviously schedule those gold activities as well. But that's what I see a lot of my clients doing. That's what Tony Robbins does. It's what I do. And I'm telling you again, success leaves clues.